To the Thursday's edition of the playlist. I am starting this early so you can get it in plenty of time for tomorrow. I noticed that although I update in the early morning sometimes, I know that you can do that quite well by yourselves also. So if you have any questions, you can always send me emails, etc. So let's take a look at what happened today. Notice Apple is on a sideways move here. I put in some new drawings here for support and breakout levels. So just check those. 525, 526 worked for today as a cautionary long, and of course I'm glad that it really didn't snap into there, because I think it would have snapped back rather quickly also. So, but the 523 short certainly did work very well. We went down to 518.20, and if you're looking at this chart, and if you listen throughout my recording and heard these pre-market updates, then you can see how this actually just showed a total resistance here at 525. Then that was in just getting into, sorry, getting into the day, and that's early morning, and then it reversed here and started taking out the 523, and then pretty soon made that new low here at 518.20. Could never recover, so that's going to be our gauge, obviously. So I think still the 523 is going to work against this move up, and then again the 525 is going to be critical for a breakout, and so is this 526. Now you could possibly chance it from a 524 point of view on the long, but be just very careful about how that might snap you about. Okay, so let's take a look at um, Amazon next. Okay, Amazon is now testing these bottoms, and I wish I could get this a little bit less than that. There we go. And now it's looking at, it's testing this bottom tail. And if you know me, you know I'm looking for fills down there anyway. So it's going to fill. I one tails, the wicks, they like to fill. In other words, they need to have that box to fill them up. They just kind of stick out like sore thumbs and toes. That's the way I look at it, or tails if you'd like. And they're just tempting to be stepped on. So there you have it. This level here at the 352, if that loses that, then we're going to have a heck of a time stopping this coming down, because there's no other history of support here. So just the 50% rule in itself, if it loses this bottom tail mark. And of course, if someone wants to get in, that's, wants to really get in, anxious to get in, this could be oscillating back and forth and just becoming a jumping bean. So be careful here. I'm going to stick with a 358, 360, 362 long, but also a 358, 356, 354 short, just depending on how it opens in the morning. So I just want you to be aware of that. I know this looks rather flat, but if you take a look at it here at the 355, almost the 356, came down to near the 354, and of course if it loses that, that's what we're talking about. Then we're looking at near the 352, and then we're looking at the next support level is below the 340. So be careful, as I said. Of course, it can establish its own pattern here, and especially since it's going to butt against, somewhere along the line, it's going to butt against this um, support line, this trend line being a support line. So that too needs to be watched. Okay, so we're going to do a 358, 360, 362 long, 358, 356, 354 short. All right, then let's take a look at Baidu, BIDU. And this came and broke down this support line right here, but it finished above there, so it could be in this range bound right in here for a while, just like it was here. We could be experiencing that, but again, it's going to be just like here. It filled the tail, right? we might doing the same thing one more time and then creating another tail, and here's another support. So let's take a look at the Baidu from 150, 149, 148 short, and then take a chance on the 141 to snap back to about the 150. I mean, it's not 150 one long, and so take a snap back to the 152, and then the 152 will be a little bit more assured to the 153, 154, and then of course the resistance at the 155 area is going to be critical there too. All right, then let's take a look at CMG. CMG broke out to a new high again, but now it's showing a reversal and the possibility of a test down to the 534 area. Not that it's that far down. And of course, we are meeting also here with the bottom of this trend line. Still needs to check this 50% mark in my opinion. So one day it might. So it might be coming down to here to support, which is around the 520 area here. So there's plenty of wiggling back and forth. I mean, that's pretty wide ranges to wiggle. So looking at this long, it closed at 539.63. In case it snaps back, 541, 542, 543 long, and the short side 537 to 535 on, and then we'll see if it can hit that 532 1 and 533.21 area. So that's going to be critical here if for the breakdown of the further below. Okay, then tech. Well, also, by the way, this did work very nicely today from the 542, very well indeed, and it hit the 546.80. So these early morning moves can be very, very good if you are ready and ready to be triggered. Of course, it might be worth your taking a chance if you can tolerate and use a very good, strong stop level that doesn't snap you out of it. I keep telling you we use 1 point on my charting, so 1 point is it, if it snaps the wrong way. Okay, let's take a look at LNKD. LNKD next here today went both long and short. By the way, that's not the only one. Baidu went long and short also, and so did Amazon. Did very nicely both ways today. LinkedIn 226 was the entry today. Went up to 229.27. Okay, and then it reversed. Notice this M pattern right there. Bang, reversed there. Tried to recover from it and lost it. So therefore, that's a pretty good indication. If a pattern like this cannot snap back to at least the 50%, it's still on the way down. Okay, so that's usually the case. These M patterns and of course the reverse is the W pattern. The LinkedIn here hit 222 and then it snapped and went definitely down. You can see that the 225 support lost it and came straight down, hit the 222, tried again, and then just failed, and etc. went down. Okay, now that sometimes, like in this case, I want to point out that if you do enter something like this at 222 and you, oops, nope, that's not 222. It's right down here. Hello. If you enter something like this at 222 and snaps back and takes you out because at that point stop, then that does not mean that it won't work another time. Like this second time around, it did work, and then you have to have the nerves of steel to stay with it all the way down. That's why I kind of like to have those triggered stops and triggered everything, so you don't second guess yourself, because then it doesn't hit, here it doesn't hit the second time. The first time, yeah, the second time, yeah, no, and then it takes you all the way down, and not only did you recoup what you lost here, but you gained on the day for the trade, right? Okay, so that's what I'd like to point out here. The and for tomorrow, and if sorry, LinkedIn for tomorrow is going to be 224, 225, 227 on the long. I think we're going to go ahead and take that chance, and then watching what the top, the 229 here, possible of. Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to point that out to you too. Remember, we were talking about the M pattern, snapping back and then failing. Okay, so be careful here. That's why I'm saying testing the 229, yeah, but will it test the 232? I'm not so sure. It might snap back down. So we're going, the long being from 224, 225, 227, and the short 222, 221, and 220. And then we'll see if it can come down to that test here, down to the 215, 213 area, 217, 213. 217, 215, 213. That's basically next. That there's that tail that wants to be filled. This whole pattern right here, if this is a consolidation support, then we'll be fine with the long, but if it's going to fail or test, we can take advantage of that too. All right, then let's take a look at NFLX next. And right here, NFLX is being tightened up. This trend line right here and this channel top right there, it needs to break through and out and test this middle section right there. Yeah, one day. 338, 340, 342 I still like for a long here, and then be careful. And then above that, the 343, 344, 345, 350, yeah, that needs to all play out. The 337, notice that I put those only a point apart for the long and short. 338, 337. I'm still liking that because today it worked so well. The 337 came down to 332.79 for a gain, and for the short. And if you look at this chart one more time, it's also playing with this pre-opening indicators that where are people mostly lining up. So looking at this, 339, it snapped up and out. Of course, you have to be, if you were set up like to be triggered somewhere, that was good, at 340 or so, that you certainly could have taken advantage of some of this move, fast move upwards to the 344. 37, and I say fast, but if you look at this chart, you can see that there's really plenty of time with here, because not only can you enter it once, but you can enter it twice, and if you miss, you can see that it's really not coming back down. Then here's your third opportunity at 341 to try and gain on this. There's no guarantees, of course, but generally speaking, you got some support of this breaking out because of the pre-market action. All right, so looking at this, and then it reversing, coming down to the 337, that's when it starts getting really, really, I should say, losing it. The momentum takes off, going south. Let's put it that way. And so 337 certainly worked beautifully in this case. All right, with this support price line, it just lost it and lost it. And then this was the next support. Now let's see what happens there. Notice how it bounced from there initially and just tested underneath, but then as this channel gets tested over and over again, it just basically breaks down this trend line. It breaks down for the end of the day, but still it finishes above it. All right, so take a look for this 337, 335, 334 short, long 338, 340, 342. And that's it for tomorrow, Thursday. Trade it well and carefully. Sorry for this long tape, and I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know if I can, if you like it, actually. Tell me if you like this better than the other ways. All right, bye-bye.